So when it comes to innovation, the provider community in general has grown to be a little jaded about the term. Because generally our experience has been when people say they want more innovation, they want some discount or something for free. I think, though, that the evolved companies are thinking differently about that. They're thinking about innovation is about putting two companies together, having them solve some common problems and come up with different answers. So it's like you got to put two things together that are a spark, but it requires work. It's not about free, it's hard work. And it's hard work not just by the provider, but it's also by the company that has to, that's doing the sourcing, and they've got to work collaboratively together. So innovation is possible. True innovation is possible, I tell people, but it's hard work and it requires two to tango. It's always a journey when you're talking about innovation. And so one of the clients that we've worked with and had the pleasure to work with, we did something that I thought was really innovative and interesting on how it worked the process. We took people out of our labs and had them go spend 2 months in their R&D labs. And then we took people out of their R&D labs and had them go spend 2 months in our R&D labs. So that it was really, like a work transfer program. And they both got to take their individual expertises, then go learn how somebody else in a very different business uses the same kind of disciplines around innovation and growth strategies and so on. And then we created a steering committee, we created ideas, we rated the top 3, and then off we went with some ideas. And for them, right, and for us, we've been able to take assets we both had and come up and try to solve some different problems that they have. I think the role of the sourcing advisor has changed a lot. Good sourcing advisors, right, can make a real difference, especially when a client, is maybe a first-time client or one that has some particularly difficult governance issues, or they are, trying to do maybe a deal very quickly, but they need some perspective and the good housekeeping seal of approval. So the best advisors can make a real difference. Unfortunately or fortunately, just like all the rest of us, everything's not equal. And, a bad outsourcing advisor can, take the process too long, get in the way, inhibit it. So, it varies. The whole idea of sourcing and having somebody who has more experience or an expert to guide people through it can be helpful, right? But they have to be an expert, they have to have done it before, and they have to know how to be able to create a relationship between two people, because at the end of the day, all of these sourcing deals are about relationships. And if you can't create a good relationship, everything else is going to fall apart after that. If you talk about transformation, and a lot of people say, well, is it better to be outsourced if you're going to transform, or better to be shared service? I actually don't think that decision is made based on how much you want to transform or the business outcome or what you want to do. I think it has to do with where you're starting from, right? And what the culture is in your company and how you feel about it. If you're a company that always does stuff yourself, that rejects outsiders, as one of my clients said many, many years ago, we're used to conquering and ruling anybody that would come near us. Well, we don't do too good in that kind of relationship. So we know if we're going to get in that kind of relationship, we've got to change our behavior. Other people have said, hey, we're not ready for that yet. We're not ready to change ourselves. So let's try to get some of the advantages we could get by doing shared services. When we're talking about fast-growing markets, can be Asia, can be in Latin America, can be in Russia, other areas like that. An outsourcer oftentimes, if you have the right one, might already have a presence in those countries. So they could help you get up to speed and basically take some of the things that don't have to do with selling to the customer or delivering your product out of the way for you. So they can help you with speed, they can help you improve the capability, they can be a guide to you. I think that, the other thing that's very interesting that's happening a lot today, besides from kind of what we call the traditional growth market people going into new markets, there are a lot of companies right now that are in those markets, in Japan, right, in China. If you go talk to them, all of them want to get into the US and the UK, right? And they don't have the same kind of infrastructure in those countries that they do, where they started, where their home country is, so they can use an outsourcer to help them expand and, as they say, go global.